please, Mr. Momodou. Is internet connection?
Okay, so now we are live.
I'm moving
Welcome.
in and out.
Yeah,
Right.
welcome to our new
I
group.
move out. I need to get connected. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So we are live now. This is New Global Media Talk Show. Today is August 10th, 2025. Today we're gonna be talking about the chances of oppositions for 2026. 2026 is gonna be the end of the term, two-term for President Barrow, and of course
I
the
cannot hear.
oppositions are gearing up, getting ready to see that he doesn't pass the two-term limit. So Mr. Momodou would talk us through the chances for the opposition party to definitely take over the presidency. So we will let Mr. Ba come in. Mr. Ba is also the party. I mean, I believe the party leader for national is the movement and he's the Afro movement. He's the leader for Afro movement and and also a passionate writer. Yeah. So let's hear what he has to say. Thank you. Hello.
Yes, Dr. Sawaneh, I think we facing connection issue with Momodou. So he's actually going and coming. That only demonstrate that he's having connection issue. So we are having him back again. Mr. Ba, can you hear me loud and clear, please? Mr. Ba, can you hear me loud and
Yes.
clear?
Now I can hear you. Yes. Now,
All right.
now I can. I have some connection problem.
All right, then we move on again. We have already given you the floor to open the discussion because the topic of discussion today is the chances for the opposition in the Gambia ahead of the 2026 elections. So this topic is crucial for us. And then, as a party leader of the Afro movement, please can you take us through and highlight some of the things that you believe could be done or should be done by the opposition in for winning the elections in 2026? What are the chances? Can you put us through or can you take us through, please? Thank you so very much, Mr. Ba.
Okay. Thank you very much. New Global Media Civic. So, to Mr. Sane. Is it Momodou Sane?
So
Yeah.
the Sawaneh, yeah.
Sam Ceesay and Ousman Camara. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you
Yes, we
loud
can
and
hear
clear.
you.
Yeah,
Very
Can
go
you hear
clear.
ahead.
me,
Yes.
please?
Yeah.
Very clear, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello,
Go
guys.
ahead.
Can
Yeah.
you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear, Mr. Ba,
Can
please.
you? Yeah. Very good. Okay, good. So, thank you so much for having me. I'm Moduba, um, known as with the code name Moduba. During the last election in 2021, when I filed for nomination, there were two Modubas. So I'm the number one, and he's number two. So it is given by IEC. So
Okay.
I'm the leader of the Afro movement, African Federalism and Republican Orientation, and also aspirant to the presidency of the Republic of the Gambia 2026. So, as you mentioned it, the topic, um,
I think it's disconnected. All right, so I think we can just to start. Once these go out, we can just continue discussions for our audience. Okay, so I could give you some you I could give you the floor to just start of the conversation before he comes?
Yeah, all right, no problem. I think this is a very interesting topic, and it's something that we all need to look at carefully. And every Gambian, wherever they are, need to think of 2026 as the time to make a change in our country, to change for better. Change is sometimes change is better, but one of the things that I advocate the most is not to have any president rule our country for more than 10 years, more than 2 terms. This is technically the end of Barrow's second term. 2026 will be the end. So I think whether he chooses to stand or not, we need to do everything we need to do to make sure we bring change to our country, especially seeing what we are seeing in our country. It is going to be a challenge, and my best advice and my best way of um, analyzing this is really to have a coalition. I don't think any political party. There are political parties. I mean, don't get me wrong, that are strong enough to take Barrow out. Like UDP is a strong, big party that can take Barrow out. However, we should not take things for granted. I think they need to look at forming a coalition with other parties, because every small party is going to take a small chunk of votes from the pool. So it's best to bring all of those small parties together and form a coalition like they did in 2016 to be able to change the government. I think it's the best route to take. That's my recommendation. That's what I would support, rather than every single individual party trying to run on their own. Because every single individual party, especially smaller parties, they have a very narrow chance of winning the presidency. So without taking any chance, I think the best thing would be to have all the political parties come together. All the opposition parties, I mean to say, come together and form one coalition and elect a leader. Go through primaries and elect a leader, someone that can lead them, and that will give them a 50% chance of winning, since the elections is based on simple majority. But he's back. I'll let him continue carry on from where he stopped.
Yeah, actually, do, do you think it's from my end, or it's from?
I think it's a network error in the Gambia there, because all of us can hear each other and we're all here. So
because I'm switching to both networks, Cell Commune, and it's all doing the same thing.
Oh boy,
I'm using both networks.
Yeah, their connections are not strong, because we are all strong here. We all
it has to do with the connection. But go ahead, Mr. Ba. We were talking about the chances of opposition winning these elections, but Sam was talking about coalition need to be built in order to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So coming back to the
yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yep, it's out again.
Yeah, Ousman, can you tell him to Ousman, can you text him to use WhatsApp
audio.
instead?
Audio, yep.
Audio
instead of video.
All right, let me do that, please. Let me do that.
Yeah, text him my number to call me through WhatsApp, and I will connect him to the video.
Okay.
Connect him.
Yeah, that way we can have his audio, and that's what's more important.
Yeah, but go ahead, Sam. Sam, I wanna comment, Sam. Before
yeah, go ahead.
To rebut that thing that you said about coalition.
Okay.
The reason why coalition is gonna be a hassle is because fundamentally UDP think that they are the biggest party, and the last time I saw Dabo was talking about when this notion that to say one party cannot win is off the table. That's not so. And the same thing that Esa Fall echo. Esa Fall also said that statistically, if a party get 25% or something, they could win this election. So because of all this, spinning in their head that one party can win, this is why this is the same fallacy that's going to cause the opposition to fail. Because I agree with you, coalition would
Hello?
have to be the way to go, but there's a fallacy running in the camps, UDP camp and leadership, and Isafat's leadership camp, that one party can win. So if that continues, of course, they probably might not form a coalition. So I just want to support your
Yep.
point.
Yep. So, but since he's back, I'll come back later. But let's let him go ahead and so he can say what he wanted to say. And then I'll
Okay,
come back.
Mr. Ba, you can go ahead.
Sabah is still struggling with connection. So I dropped him your number. I equally sent him a text message helping him to call through an audio format so that at least he could be connected. But the case continuous fluctuation of the connection is a concern. Perhaps you guys can proceed. But if he's seen my message, I think he will call from there. Thank you so very much.
Yep.
Yeah.
So to proceed from where I left off, here is the reason. I know every party thinks that they can win without a coalition. Yes, and like I said earlier, there is a possibility they can win without a coalition. But going into a coalition will build a stronger case. You see what I'm saying? They will build a stronger case when you go into coalition. Now, every party standing on their own, they can go. Yeah, since it's simple majority. Yeah, it doesn't have to be anything but simple majority. Yes, somebody can get one party can get 25%, another person get 15%, another party gets 10%, another party can get 30% or 35%, and the simple majority will be the winner. I know that. I know that can happen, but I recommend that not to take a chance, because this is something that you do not want to take a chance. The best chance will be for all the coalitions, for all the political opposition parties come together. That will make them even stronger. So you can look at the one party is 20%, another party is 25%, another party is 15%, another party is 10%. All coming together can really form a huge simple majority and be able to beat the president. But without that, the president has a strong hold. I mean, they've done everything they wanted to do to win the last election, right? They're going to do the same thing to try to win this one. They will go with full force. They will do. It doesn't matter what it takes. They will do whatever it takes to make sure they win. So the only way I look at it is, or the best way for opposition to win is to come together. When they come together, they won't be able to. NPP may not be able to win.
Okay, I have Mr. Ba on the line.
Okay.
So I think he's been listening, so he can start with the audio. Yeah, Mr. Ba, you have the floor.
Okay, good.
Yes. Thank you very much for giving me the floor. It's a pleasure to be part of this platform. Concerning the question or the topic, whether opposition in the 2026 election. So I believe that there are some factors that we need to work out. Factors like the opposition. Can you hear me, please?
Yeah, yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah.
Good. So I mean factors like the importance of opposition unity. It is very important for the opposition to be united, and let there not be opposition in the opposition. Yes. So for example, in opposition, we cannot be united. We cannot be opposing each other. And that is the development of the country, plans of the country. We have that in common. So the rest we have, in the hands of the people who decide. We have to we have to give. We have to be we have to please the general public. Who would decide whom to give power to. But first, we need to be we don't have to we need to be very accommodating. So the reason why I said this because the last election in 2021, which I was part of it, which I took part, and then I filed my nomination. So unfortunately, I did not pass through the nomination. So when I didn't pass the nomination, but it was clear that most of the opposition did not have a clear plan, clear strategy, to bring on board, small or independent candidates, independent aspirants. They didn't have a clear plan to bring them on board. So this was a major problem, So because already some of them thought they have already won, so they don't need to partner with others. So if you are on call, as a leader, if you are on call, there are certain steps that you cannot take on your own. So you need to, like opposition leaders need to have clear strategies on how to bring on board everybody. So that was one of the problems. And then President Barrow, who just completed his first term in office, after having a rift with the main opposition leader, they were in the same group, they were in the same party, UDP, and then said that my first term, told us my first term, was full of trouble, with my people. They held my hands, I couldn't work, but now my eyes are open. This is why I fight him, and this is the time now. I want you to, I'm extending my hand to you. Come, let's work, and we put things together. So, 2021, because you need to hear this, from people like us who are in the system, and then, because the reason why I'm explaining all this, we want to avoid such again. Okay, so in 2021, this was a major problem because it was almost clear that it was a two-horse race. So when this thing happened, actually it was either you go and join Barrow or you go and join lawyer Dabo, the UDP. So the opposition party did not do enough. They didn't have enough strategies, alliance strategies. They did not have strong mobilization strategies. To bring on board those independents, there's being who are not important. Most of us thought, these people they are not important. But be mindful, we went for people like me. We went for nomination. They asked us to file 5,000 signatures. Almost everything was done, but with just few technicalities. Like having some 200 in Banjul, there are some areas that are very difficult to to have. So that was a problem. So you were already able to mobilize 5,000 people. So we mean at least you have 5,000 people who endorsed you. If you add 5,000 more than 20 times, that is a big electorate. We could be the difference. We could see in 2016 the difference, the margin was very low. It was just in the range of 20,000. And this system, our electoral system, is the first to lead the poll. You win with one vote, you are good to go. So this was a problem, So and then moving forward now, the opposition also should be ready, to particularly the main opposition should be ready to bring on board everybody who wishes to be to take part. They should be willing to bring everybody on board, to be on the same platform, to start discussing, to start familiarizing with others, to start identifying, some of the problems, that we are facing as a country. So that will pave the way for future alliances. But we don't have ignore people. Everybody is important because it is every citizen has the right to stand for your country.
Okay.
So in doing so, we have to respect everybody, no matter how small you are, no matter how young you are, no matter how old you are. Everybody should be given this respect. So opposition unity is the first step. Opposition unity is the first step. So the next step is how are we going to address the issues at hand, the current economic situation, because the situation is very bad in the country. You have corruption, you have unemployment, poor health facilities, so many aspects. How are we going to address, as opposition? Because if you have many, I believe, having many leaders, many parties, many candidates, it's also a plus, provided that we are addressing these issues. If we are addressing these issues, and then until the public, the people, the government people to hear us, already one part of the job is done. Now the next part of the job is for them to choose who is the best among us. So with me, we have to work on the communication, and this applies to every political leader. We have to address the issues that are here at hand, because there is the factor of the incumbency. They are powerful, they have money, they have resources, they are being represented everywhere. So it is very easy for them to spread their messages across. They have all the media who are doing some publicity for them. They have almost everything ahead of the opposition. So if you have an incumbent like that who has been here for almost 2 terms, so seeking for a third term, it's not going to be easy. So it means you have to work on addressing things that is not going on well in the country, which I am currently doing, because recently I was in the media, I was in other media outlets addressing similar things. So are other opposition leaders doing the same thing, or are they just trying to sell their image alone, without telling the government people what are the problems, what the problems are, or are they, also what are they proposing also to the government people? Because these are the two things. What is the problem, and how do you want to fix it? This is all about opposition, nothing else. The role of opposition is only this: tell the government people, tell your people what is the problem, and then tell them how you want to fix it. Right. So are we all doing this?
Yeah.
Are we having divergent views among us? Are we attacking each other?
Right.
Do we wish good for each other? Exactly. So we have to address all these issues, because we have a very powerful government who is here, and then whose politics, the current government, his politics is infrastructure, because when one financier went to him, asking him, what are your plans? He told them infrastructure, and infrastructure again. And he is on that path. He's just trying to realize that path. Because if we
enter in the West Coast region, you will see that there are two beautiful lanes from Airport Junction, to Senegambia Road, which they intend to extend to Banjul. They are building bridges without no transparency, without telling people where do they take this money from, and how much are we paying, how are we paying it. There is no transparency, absolutely. But at least there is a little bit part of their work that is beautiful, that is the infrastructure. So anybody who comes from outside, you come to the Gambia, you see that, you will definitely think that, oh, Gambia is moving. While there are other important areas that are sinking, like the economy. There is no clear vision in the country. There are no youth for the job. There are no job for the youth.
Yeah.
And so on and so forth. So
Thank
what is the government, what is the opposition doing to counter this? Because this is not in the interest of the country. Though infrastructure is good, but the high rocketing of prices, in the country, everything is red. All the signals are in red.
Mm-hmm.
So, faced with this situation, we need everybody on board. There are politicians, there are people who enter into politics, obviously, but maybe possibly for their personal gains or for
Right.
There are other politicians, there are other people who enter into politics, to address issues, to be committed to a vision, to be committed to the future of the country, to be committed to integrity. We have to accept this thing, and then we have to distinguish, who are these type of people, and then we empower them, because the local political parties, they don't have power. They need to be empowered by the diaspora people, as they used to do, and then we have to put very good strategies. If we are no longer doing politics of giving money to people, but they need to do this to go, countrywide, to sensitize people, to talk to people, etc. So the opposition needs resources. So do we have those available resources? How many of us have the resources in place?
Right.
So these are all things that we have to address if we want to have it. If the opposition want to stand a chance to win the next election.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
So yes, can I still go ahead?
Yeah. So let's yeah. So can we just have digest that area quickly, and you can proceed. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me just add this, and then you digest it at once. Let me just add this final.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
That is the electoral transparency.
Okay.
We have to ensure electoral transparency. This is very important because we've seen recently, under the pretext of giving, ID card, national documents to other nationals outside, we are seeing that is giving out ID cards to other countries, like in Mauritania before and recently in Gabon. So these are things that that is not telling well. Okay, so are we giving the documents to the right people, to the right citizens? So these are factors, and then, what is IC doing in order to avoid similar mistakes in the past, like the errors, the famous transposing the errors of, one party, one candidate giving it to another one, which created chaos in the country. What are they doing to address that? Did they do any forensic, to find out what were the problems? See now we did not talk about that. We tend to go under the carpet. What is the Independent Electoral Commission also doing, for greater transparency? UDP had filed for contested the elections, the election results. So what, are they doing to unite people, to call all all people who are concerned to discuss about such issues. I think so. These are the problems that we can, we can discuss together. And then if there's any other thing that you want to clarify, I may come in again.
Yeah, thank you so much, Momodou. And again, this is New Global Media digesting the issue of opposition party having a chance to win. So I'm gonna let Ousman come in because I have other areas. We talk about unity of the party. We talk about electoral competency. You talk about the when it comes to like you didn't talk about flag bearership. You didn't talk about that, but that's something that is a major issue when it comes to like a coalition being formed. You talk about talking about issues, which is the key in any election, in any elections. If you don't talk about issues, you cannot get the voters. So you talk about what the president is doing and his body, which is and his government, I would say, which is the infrastructure. So, what are the opposition coming up with to sell to the Gambian people? So, I will allow Ousman to come in and Sam before I come in with the tons of areas that I want to touch. We have another 30 minutes to digest that. Ousman, do you have
Yeah.
something quick?
Yes, thank you so very much, Mr. Sawaneh. I think I will appreciate if Momodou Ba could basically shorten his answers so that let's the remaining 30 minutes we can definitely utilize it to the best of our ability because a lot of questions are here and we need to look at them one after the other as well. So for my first question, because the issue of having the unification and then equally talking about the standard bearer or the flag bearer ship can only come in when we have what you call a coalition, when oppositions, when they form a coalition or when they form the unity. Just to go into that, I think, in my opinion, and then of course, Mr. Momodou Ba, if you are listening to me, that part of a party coalition having a flag bearer or a standard bearer that will lead the coalition. It is a concern for all genuine Gambian or genuine voters that will rally behind a coalition. They want to vote for a flag bearer that will represent the interests of the voters, the interests of the Gambian people. Mr. Momodou Ba, in your opinion, what will be the yardstick or what will be the pathway in choosing a flag bearer for in case the coalition is formed? What will be the path? Are you going to look at from the majority of the opposition, or are you going to look at based on the competency, or will there be any acceptance or what you call unanimous acceptance of a good candidate that will represent the coalition? Because we have heard from political leaders, opposition political leaders, how they reacted to who is going to be the standard bearer of a coalition in case it is formed. It is not new. It is not new to anybody if you are following the political spectrum of this country. So, in your opinion, Mr. Momodou Ba, as a opposition leader and equally an aspirant ahead of the 2026 as well, what would be your honest and candid opinion in choosing a standard bearer, Mr. Momodou Ba? Thank you so very much, Mr. Ba.
Okay, thank you very much. It is a good question. So I'm going to talk frankly, and openly. And then also, I'm just going to start the example by there where you guys are there. Because when presenting a candidate, you have to present a winnable candidate. You have to present a candidate that is free from controversy. You have to present a candidate who proposes a very good project for the people. So this is very important in terms of choosing a candidate. For example, for me, my own analysis of the reason why, the Democrats in the US lost, that election could probably be because, they didn't fire maybe a good candidate, because that is in the aspiration of the people. Because of a female candidate was presented sometime back, I think it was in 2016, he was defeated, and then they presented again a female candidate. So was the US ready, to vote for a female candidate? So these are questions that we need to ask after post-election to see the reason why the people did not accept her. So compared to the Gambia again, so in 2016, in 2021 in the Gambia, a candidate was presented to the Gambian people. People didn't know much about the candidate, but they voted for him because they wanted to clear something out, and that was dictatorship. So but this time around, for the people to vote out an incumbent, it has to be something very clear. What are those candidates putting on the plate, on the plate? So these are some important factors that we need to figure out. It's just not a matter of bringing a candidate for bringing a candidate's sake, but it is a matter of bringing a candidate, who has a project, and which project, which that once in power, you are just going to implement those projects, accordingly, not unprepared. Because the truth being told, 2016, post 2016, 2017, the Barrow administration, the 2016 coalition were not ready to lead. They were unprepared. They were only prepared to bring the government down, but they were not prepared to develop the country. Also, and then also, what will they do, to bring a coalition that will govern together, but not a coalition that will put you in power, and then you start opposing each other. You start creating problems with each other, and sending people, So there need to be a clear roadmap, a clear thing, because when something happens to you in the past, you don't always want it to repeat itself again. A wise leader would definitely make sure that such kind of things did not repeat each other. So we've seen the 2016 coalition. So when they came to power, almost Halifa Saleh out, OJ out, and then later on UDP leader Jeanne Dabo out. So there was no strong love for the country. They were not united by the projects they have for the country, but probably they were united due to some of them their personal agenda, and I stand to be corrected, So going forward, also we have to think about all these factors in order for a coalition to be put in place, and then also the order that you need to look at are the internal problems within parties. Because each party that you see, they have internal issues, so they need to solve their internal problems first, before they would able to, and then take and then propose a very good candidate there, so that
Oh, Sam Ceesay, it appears that we having technical issue at the moment from Momodou Sawaneh. Can you can you realize that?
Yep. I got the same thing here. So he's and unfortunately his phone is what Momodou called. I'm not sure if the phone is affected. Now, Momodou, can you hear us? And Famara Drammeh just joined as well. Famara also joined. So it looks like we lost both of them, Momodou and Momodou, the two Momodous.
Well, yes, Sam Ceesay, I think you can highlight on the issue of the flag bearership, because I think that is the critical part for any successful coalition at this material point in time, because I think I wanted him to elaborate much onto that. What criteria, or are they ready to take the bull by the horn in choosing a flag bearer ahead of the 2026 election, because that path we have heard from SFL, we have heard from lawyer Usainu Dabo with the issue of the flag bearership. Please go ahead, Mr. Sam Ceesay.
Yeah, that's that was the next step I wanted to get into, and then I let him go in since he was online. But this is my opinion, just like everybody's entitled to their opinion. My opinion is I've suggested this back in the years, and I remember Fatu Network did what I suggested, and what that was is to bring these coalition. Not a coalition, bring the opposition parties together and create a presidential debate. When you put a presidential debate up for all these political party leaders come to and answer questions from the citizens of the Gambia, questions should come from all directions. From there should be farmers there should be a question from the farmers, question about education, question about the economy, question about security of the country, question about cost of living, question about different questions about what Gambians people want to know now. Once we get that question sent to all of these political party leaders in a debate, all right, in a debate session, which will be a national debate. So all of the political parties will have a stage, and the same question will go around to the moderator, will make sure the same question goes to all of these people. And if it is announced ahead of time and scheduled and announced ahead of time for Gambians to tune in and listen to these political party leaders, we're going to know what their agenda is. We're going to know where they stand in terms of our economy. We're going to know what are they going to do when they come to power. So this is going to help people to decide who they want to vote for. Then they will go into a primary election. After that presidential debate, like I suggested, after a presidential debate, what's going to happen is there will be some candidates that are going to drop out themselves because they would know that they did not perform well. They did not do well. Some may not even show up. And if they don't show up, that tells the country people, the people in the country, it tells the citizens that this person, if they don't care enough to come to a debate to tell us what they are going to do for us, then we don't need to give them more votes, right? So some people will drop out. It will be a process of elimination. And when they drop out, what you're going to see is they're going to endorse another political party leader. So, the ones that attend the debate, the presidential debate, we will go from there and continue to go to a primary at that point. Now, at that point, everyone that watched that debate would know who has the top edge, right? Or will know who are the best ones out of there. And it will give people an idea. And even the people in the diaspora, we're going to watch that and say, you know what? I think so-and-so will be a better president. And that's what we're going to convey to our people, our family members and friends and people that we can convince. And then when they go to primaries, then people are going to vote. They're going to vote who they think will be the best candidate to beat the president, not only beat the president, but who will really be the right person for our country. That way we don't make a mistake of electing someone that will end up being a failure or end up not running the country correctly. So I think it will be, to me, that is my suggestion. I think that will be the solution to all of this political chaos out there, and all of this political, what is it called? All the stuff that's out there. And I think it will help the people land on a good candidate who can also win the primary to be able to stand against the president. And when that person wins the primary as the flag bearer at that point, then all the other opposition parties will be behind that person, knowing that they've done the right thing democratically. They went through a debate, they went through a primary, and this is the person that wins. And they put in a good memorandum of understanding, knowing what happened in 2016, put some safeguards around that so the same thing doesn't happen again. And once they do that, I think we have a better chance.
All right. Thank you so very much.
Yeah, I
Mr.
think I
Sawaneh,
have.
go ahead, please.
Yeah, I have Omar on the line again. Sorry about the connection. It was on
Okay.
my side. Yeah, Omar,
I
can
see.
you what were you trying to say before the connection went off? I have Famara also joined the line as well. So I have Sam and Ousman online. Yeah, can you hear me, Omar? I mean,
Yes,
Momodou. Yeah, can you hear?
yes, yes. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, just to sum up, just saying that, we just need to identify a winnable candidate, and but before that, we need to, settle our differences in our different political parties, because there are so many, issues, internal issues, so we need to solve that so that we can, from each party, could come up with their best candidate. And then we go to primaries or any other ways of selecting those candidates. We would make the best candidates would be presented there, and then also the projects, the candidate must have something to offer to the people.
Okay.
Not only we change Barrow as we did in 2016, we everything except Yemen. That was the vote that was the way government voted. But this time around, what would remove the incumbent is, the plans that we have for the country, and the political will, to tackle corruption, and then to bring a clear vision, for Gambia to be, a developed country. These are some of the acts that we have to make sure that, they are in place before it is done. And also we also have think of post-election. Post-election. So how are those projects going to be implemented? Because it was a major problem according to our experience in 2016. Because you cannot have a coalition where you have OJ, best memory, where you have, Ali Masala, where you have Dabo, Laosin Dabo, and then you end up having them all separated, so for some personal reasons. So these are some of the problems that we are going to face with. And also another problem that we are going to face with also, UDP also almost see themselves as, the key political party, which is true in reality. They are the biggest political party in the country, but they always, believe that, their candidate, are the one who is going to face the problem too. So that's why it's going to be difficult, for us to break down all these barriers in order to come up with the best candidate.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. I'll let Famara say something before we jump onto Ousman, and I'll come last before we go to Ousman and then Sam. Famara, do you have something to add? Famara, welcome.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sawaneh, Sam, Ceesay, and Ousman. And then I missed the introductory part of our guest. I guess it's the same Mr. Barr that stood for election in 2021, right?
Yes,
That's
yes,
correct.
yes.
Okay. Yeah, I know his nomination was rejected. How prepared is he right now to ensure that he goes through that nomination process? And then also, I want to ask him, in his honest opinion, from 2021 to now, what area did he see the incumbent is very, is doing a lot in terms of achieving his promises to the Gambian people since the last election? Of course, maybe if there is strength that he has recognized and that the president is actually doing, obviously not 100%, but he's seeing the progress is being done, and maybe if he comes into power or maybe he's elected as our president, then he will actually build on where the current president started from. So that's been my couple of questions for now, and then I'll ask you later on.
Okay.
Thank you.
It seems like the connection is a little shaking, but Can anybody repeat what Mr. Famara was saying? So that
Yes,
this, yeah.
I think I could help in that very quickly. Yes, Mr. Momodou Ba, our colleague Famara Drammeh had a second connection. So, but just to put forward what he highlighted, few things, I cannot say in verbatim, but a few things. He's actually suggesting, I think he's trying to confirm with the same Momodou Ba in 2021 election aspirant, he was rejected. Yes, Mr. Famara Drammeh, the same Momodou Ba is actually with us as a guest today. I think the other part that he asks Mr. Momodou Ba, I think that is the issue of where do you think the current president is, had his way in as far as the strength part of the current government, and then if in the strength part, if you are actually comfortable or you are convinced with the strength part, when, for example, do you have any interest when you come in, which do you have an interest to strengthen that particular part, or what part do you think you are going to focus more when you become the president of this country? All right, I think those are some of the few things verbatim I can highlight from Mr. Farmer Drammeh. Mr. Momodou, over to you now.
Okay, thank you very much. I think there are a few areas which I've mentioned, I think, before he came in. That was the infrastructure. Because like his vision, I don't know, Baruch, people might think that he doesn't have a vision, but I think he has a very vision, but it is very short, and limited. And his vision is limited to infrastructure. Because when one financial institution came to him and asked him, how could we help you and your project? He told him, infrastructure, and infrastructure. So if you see, in Basse, if you go to Basse, some of them, they have roads, they build their roads, he built bridges, in the North Bank also he's doing similar thing. If you come to West Coast region, it is just like a decoration, because this is something that will be in his legacy also. That is the OIC road. The OIC road stretches from Airport Junction going to Senegambia Road to Banjul. So we will be the next phase later on. So I think any stranger, who comes to the Gambia and see this beautiful road, you will be impressed, according to the standard of the Gambia. So it is true that what should have been improved in the area of infrastructure is the transfer of competencies, the transfer of knowledge, if you see the infrastructure that we are doing in the country, the part of the job is done by the people, most of the, if not Gambians, but maybe Senegalese, or just very few people, very few Gambians, or mixed with just, indigenous people, who can do it. So what is the government doing in order to make sure that there is transfer of knowledge? So we need to build all the roads. We don't only have to depend on those multinationals. Every time we give them contacts. But now what Africa is demanding is you have to transfer the knowledge to us. You have to work with us as partners, not only as we just have to depend on you. No. So that is something that we have to improve in the area of infrastructure. And what also we have to improve there is this transparency. There is no transparency. It is not tell exactly how much we got from OIC, the OIC fund. How much was donated to us, how much we got for free, how much they spent, how much was left. So there is no transparency in terms of that. And as a serious leader, I think you have to make all these things very, very clear. And also, it is good that infrastructure is good, but we need to decentralize our development. So this is why my project, my biggest project, is to build an edge city, between Parapenye and Soma, whereby in the model of the Arab countries like Dubai, Qatar and others, whereby we would make sure that Africa Africans, visit our country. So we transform our country, we beautify our country, we make it very beautiful, so that people will come. So in terms of infrastructure, that is what I would definitely want to improve. So apart from that, also there is this national social registry stuff. Trying to know, in the country who needs what, who needs help, who are the vulnerable ones, But in the end, what are we doing to help them after knowing them, So I think, it's good. They are doing a very good job in terms of, knowing the social registry. But what next? How do we help them? And with all this, we need transparency and good governance.
Thank you.
If I may answer his question.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so I think everybody has asked. Let me jump in because we have about 5 to 10 minutes to go. First, I want to say, Mr. Momodou, you were gathering signatures to get to the ballot box, but you couldn't make it based on other terms. And then you have too many parties. Imagine, everybody want to become president. Everyone want to become ministers. Everybody want to have a position. Everybody want to be relevant. Everyone want opportunities. And this is hurting the Gambian people. Now, the legitimacy of all this party, imagine, become a concern. And some people are even proposing, why can't we have a two-party system? And people work their way in the ranks. If you want to be president, not everybody can become president. Out of 99%, the chances of you or Ousman or I or Sam or Famara to become a president is 0.1% chance because of the population. When you look at statistically the population of the Gambia, why is it that this political inspirants don't come out and look at what can make our country better? You don't have to be president to contribute immensely to the development of mankind and the country. If you truly love our country, why can't we take direction? Why can't we be educating ourselves? But just because we have a clueless person like Barrow become a president, now everybody want to become, can say, I can do it. So I think we are losing the sight of what we want our country to become. This percentage that I'm telling you, this is the fact. You have 2 million, calculate it. For a given term, every 10 years, calculate this statistically. The chances of somebody become president is very minute. So, because once somebody is president, it's not going to go out tomorrow. It's going to spend, the list is 5 years, which we haven't even seen. Everybody has been spending more than 10, 20 years, and Barrow seems to be heading to that direction. So I think this is a message that needs to go across the board for the political aspirants and the other people who are performing their party. That's number one area. Number two, you talk about the flag bearers. Yeah. You want to address this one first before I come to the flag bearers, because that's another emerging issue.
Yeah, please, yeah.
Okay, go ahead. But Ousman and my co-panelists, we have to extend a little bit because the time wouldn't give us, this is a very hot topic and the people are following. So what I suggest we add 15 minutes to the time. Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah, this is a very important question, and then I value so much your contribution towards it, and very respectful towards me, as an aspired candidate. So I'm not offended with that. But also, me, I am an admirer of democracy, of American democracy. What is happening in America, both the Republican independents in between, who are not known. But if we could transform that to the Gambia, I would be definitely happy, and I'm willing, to adhere to that system. But we have to know that also, you cannot want one thing and it's contrary. You cannot want democracy and then you want its contrary. Because in a democracy, every eligible citizen has the right to aspire to serve their nation, either young or old. now, like the rise of your candidate is not a threat. It's not a threat, but it is a sign of political maturity and growing civic consciousness in the Gambia. Some may indeed seek fame or personal gain, but that should not overshadow the genuine intentions of others who are ready to lead. There are some people, there are projects. You just have to ask, what is his background? Where is he from? That famous.
But my point is, why can't people like yourself or Ousman or Sam Ceesay walk towards to the political rank? If you are efficient, if you are, if you have the leadership potential, why can't you go to one of these parties and work your way up?
Yes, because what I propose, what I brought in the Gambian political arena has never been there before. Because I am the leader of a Pan-African movement. Officially, there is no Pan-African movement in the country. So, I have all the right to start up something that is new in the country. So my movement is called Afro Movement, African Federalism and Republican Orientation. It is a Pan-African concept, sovereignty. We believe in sovereignty. We believe that we need to be independent. We need to, to have everything in the country. We need to industrialize our country. We need to nationalize many things.
So that means, so whilst we are doing that, what is that creating? That creating the incumbent more power, because now you have a philosophy. This is where you want the country to be governed. UDP has a philosophy. This is the way you want to be governed. DOI has a philosophy. So what is going to happen is, like what Sam was saying, to form a coalition now, and then everybody has to be united. How is that going to be possible with the kind of mindset we have?
The problem is it's not a mindset. This is a philosophy. Don't take it as a mindset. It is something that we are proposing to the Gambian people, which was missing here. I mean, this is what the Gambians want. This is what the Gambians need. We need to be sovereign. After independence, how many years of independence now? 60 years of independence. Since we took our independence, we are not able to produce anything good in the country. We import rice. We import everything. So what political party is proposing that to the Gambian people? How are we, selling our agenda to the Gambian people? This is the difference. This is my difference with other political parties. I will see it in any other political party. They may say that they have it, but go through records to see my communication. I've always been, advocating for sovereignty and and Pan-African unity. Today we need to be united. We need to have a common currency. Which political party, which political leader is talking about this?
Okay.
So this is my
it's a brilliant idea. Don't quote me wrong. It's a brilliant idea. The only point is that you want Barrow to be out, not to serve more than 2 terms. Now the problem here is we have a big elephant in the hand, which is you have the very brilliant idea now, but we have an issue. We have an issue because if we don't do something in this 2026, guess what? The president will extend to 3 terms, which will be devastating to the Gambian people because of the direction that we are going, and it will set a bad precedence in the future. So what do we do about that?
Yeah, what we're supposed to do about it is just to discuss. We have to be united first. We have to give each other respect first. We have to respect each other. As I said in the beginning of my statement, not to be opposition.
So when are you gonna have that? When are you gonna have that discussion? Are you gonna, are you working towards that, or we are still waiting?
Yeah, it is not up to me. It is not up to me to initiate some things. Maybe we are part of the younger generation. It is very in our tradition. It is the elder, who would call the young ones, and then.
So it is up to UDP.
So, I mean, this is not our tradition for young people to convene, the elderly. But again, there are two categories of coalition. It cannot be, only one coalition. Maybe, the coalition of the traditional political leaders and the coalition of the task force.
So are you willing to do a coalition with Barrow government?
never in my life again. Never.
Okay. All right. So I will leave it to my guys because it looks like the coalition discussion hasn't even started, and we are almost like a year, a year or so towards the election, and of course nobody's initiating it. So it looks like the fate of the opposition is still in limbo.
Yeah, actually, for me, the most important thing is to talk to the Gambian people, sensitize the issues, the burning issues, which I am doing, which I believe maybe other political leaders are doing. So that's part of the process. So the Gambian people need to know what is not going right now, and we need to address that. And they also need to know, what are the solutions. This is all about always being an opposition leader. Telling people what are the problems, and then telling them, what are the solutions as well. This is what we have to do. So, but now the coalition normally, it might come around the process, maybe just 6 months before the
election. So do you think my final question is, do you think Barrow will be stopped at the polls?
Barrow, yeah, I definitely believe in that, because he's doing a very bad job, to the Gambian people. So we just need to know how to communicate, and how to, mobilize our.
Okay. All right. So back to my co-panelists. To wrap it up. Sam, you can come in, then Ousman, then Famara. We have 10 minutes to wrap up. Thank you guys for your patience.
Well,
yeah, I'll
thank you.
just come in quickly because I gotta go. Mr. Ba, you recognize the fact that the president is doing well when it comes to infrastructural development, right? And I think you also talk about, building the capacity of the civil service. Example, we don't have to depend on foreign companies to come and make roads for us. And I think you have a military background. And in the United States, we have the Army Corps of Engineers. How is the government going to help our security forces, especially the Gambia Armed Forces, because they have a construction unit, to build their capacity so they can continue building roads, even if we don't have grants from international organizations. But now, Mr. Ba, if in your case, if the president approached you today and said, yes, I recognize the fact that your idea you put forward that I'm not doing good in this area, but I want to bring you in to give my support to my government, to give me a support to build an area that you feel I am underperforming. Will you be able to join the president for the sake of national development? Or you just want to see him go because he has served 2 terms, or maybe he is not capable of leading? What would be your response to that? In the light of the fact that you recognize he's doing good in one area, but he's not good in the other area, and you have an expertise, you want to bring something on the table to tell him this is how things should be done, this is how institutions should be run, so that it can bring efficiency and bring us, progress, in meeting our national development goals. What will be your response to that if the president offer you to come around the table and discuss and wants to tap into your knowledge and experience? What will be your response to that?
Okay, my response to that would be a no, a big no with capital N-O, a big no. And the reason why I say that is because the saying goes, once bitten, twice shy. But Drammeh, once said, twice bitten, you are dead. I think it was part of that statement. So what I just want to say about that is, I know him. I know him very well. Because in 2021, I had the privilege and honor, of working with him. Like being part of his coalition. Okay, so I've learned a lot. While I was in him, it allows me as a young person, it allows me to know exactly how things work at State House. It allows me also to know, the Gambian people, the Gambia, the geographical, location of the Gambia, or the, people, different places. I've been to many places, and I've had, their aspirations politicians, I know what they want. So this is the only positive thing that I learned from moving with Barrow. But I know that Barrow is not somebody, who cares about, who knows anything, just to share it. Other than that, he was presented with that opportunity, and this was the only reason. This was the only reason, the reason why I endorsed him. And then now, the proof to that is, if I wanted to continue with him, I didn't need to remove or to get away from, or to exit from that coalition. So I needed there not only having position, but maybe you could have other opportunities, bringing partners. So we have partners all over the country that we all over the world that we want them to come and invest in the country. So we know all the ministers, all the actors are open to us. So those are opportunities. Even if you don't have a position in the government, but at least you have a pretty good contract, and then you can make things happen. But this is not the way that I want to that I want to operate. I want to operate because what he promised the government people, he's not doing it. He said this term was going to be a term for young people. He said that everywhere. So since on the outset, it's known that it was a hoax. He disappointed people. So Barrow is not the type of person who will tell you this and then you believe in it. So definitely, I don't believe in. Honestly, I don't believe in Barrow. So that is definitely not possible.
Okay. Thank you. Just for the sake of time, thank you. Famara, so that answers your question, correct? Before we.
Yes, it answered my question. Yeah.
Okay, and you're good. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Famara, for that. And then Sam, you can you have any final moment before we wrap up?
I have about 5 minutes and I need to get off. But finally, I'll go back to what I was saying earlier. I think the best solution for us is to form a coalition to be able to combat the 2026 election. And the best way to do that, I've said this before so many times, is to have a presidential debate among the opposition party leaders, put them all together, national television, date is announced, everybody knows when it is, and bring them all in together in the same room. They all take our same their podiums, and different questions come out from different sorts of Gambian lives, from the economy to agriculture to education, infrastructure. When we say infrastructure, really, when somebody is outside Gambia, let's say a businessman wants to go invest in the country. When they ask for infrastructure, they are looking at how is the internet service in the Gambia? How is water and electricity in Gambia? That's part of our infrastructure. How is it going in and out of the airport in the Gambia? How are the school system, because they want to take their children to school? How is the hospital system, medical system in there? All of those are part of infrastructure. Barrow is focusing on the roads. Roads are just one thing out of many from the infrastructure. But a presidential debate will bring all these political party leaders together, opposition parties together to a debate. After that debate, I think every Gambian will know who they want to vote for. And that's when they need to go to a primary elections. And I guarantee you, when the political party debate is announced, some political party leaders will drop out. Some will not even attend. Some will go in there, but they may not perform very well. But that is the day for them to showcase themselves, for the Gambian people to know who they are and what do they have on their agenda and what are they going to do for the country, different from what Barrow is doing. This is a good way for Gambian people to know. And one like Mr. Ba has his own agenda. That's a place to sell his agenda to the people. And after that, that's when they need to go to primaries. And then in the primary elections, I can guarantee you, before the primary elections, some of these opposition leaders will already join others. Will try to form a coalition in their own with others, or will drop out, or they will endorse other party leaders. So, and it will make the list even shorter for the primary elections, and whoever wins from the primary elections, that will be the flag bearer to go against President Barrow. I think that will be our best bet. Other than that, we're taking a risk. Yes, there's a possibility one party can win, but we're taking a bigger risk in that case.
The only problem there is that once you do that and then a party is not selected, that is considered that has the majority. Their leader is not being selected or by voted as a flag bearer. That might not also work. So
well, it might not. It may or may not work.
I think in addition to that, there should be a room for negotiation, because negotiation usually works behind closed door negotiation, and that's how Barrow came to power. Because politics is give and take. So if you do that negotiation, perhaps we can better come to a conclusion.
And that's and that's what I meant by part of what I meant by before or after the presidential debate. You will see some people, some party leaders will drop out and endorse others, and this is where all behind the closed door things happen. And you will see some switching and some endorsing others. And when they go to the primary election, the one that they're endorsing the most will actually end up winning that. And again, negotiations need to happen. Talk need to happen between all of them behind the scene before they get to that, and even after the primary elections.
Yeah, thank you, Sam. That's a great idea. I hope Mr. Barr would get that message and then try to probably share it with the other opposition, and then go from there. Ousman, you have anything before he wrap it up?
Yes, I just want to thank Mr. Momodou Ba for taking this moment and this to share his insight as far as the whole narrative is concerned. I equally wish to thank Famara Drammeh for coming in despite the busy schedule, and of course Ceesay. He has already he's very a punctual guy always. I really appreciate that a lot. And of course, the main man behind the technical bench, of course, Momodou Sawaneh. I equally want to thank you. From me, Ousman E. Kamab in the Gambia, I wish to say I am done for today. And then thank you so very much, Mr. Momodou Sawaneh, for giving us this opportunity once again to ask you a few questions ahead of the 2026 election. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Ousman, for the coordination. Again, thank you. I will definitely let our main guest conclude, wrap it up. Yeah, your final thoughts. If there's any pending question, pending answers that you want to give, you can include that on your final thought, Mr. Momodou Ba.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Sawaneh. Thank you to all the panelists. Yeah, I'm indeed very honored to be here once more. And just to say that, I'm not the problem. I'm not the problem. I'm just part of the solution. So anything that is decided, towards the betterness of the country, I'm ready to follow. Okay, but we make sure that also, we put in, a good system, a good electoral system, both for the primary and also for the general election. When I say both for the primary, so who are going to constitute themselves, to set up this to be the electoral, body. So there are a lot of issues, lying ahead of this to choose a candidate, to choose a common, unique candidate. It's going to be very, very difficult. But I'm not saying that it is impossible. It is possible. So if there is a problem, so I'm not the problem. So as I said, so I'm just part of the solution. And also, like for me personally, I believe that I'm not competing with anybody.
Would you pick any candidate that's not you by the opposition?
Yeah, definitely yes. I cannot say exactly who, but the candidate, who present people, the right choice. But I believe that I'm also one of the best options, because of what we are proposing. But we are not up to that. But I'm just trying to say, if at all we reach to that level whereby they only need to give one person to go. I'm ready to sacrifice myself for the love of country. Not because I cannot go, but because I believe that I'm the best ever. I'll be the best ever candidate the Gambia would ever have. Because because of the project that we brought. By the way, we brought 99 points. 99 points in the history of the Gambia. No other political aspirant, no other candidate has ever presented 99 points to the Gambian people, and they are available. And whoever wants it will definitely get it with me, so that we can share it out. And these are the 99 points that will lift Gambia from its current situation towards the country that we all want. And by the way, Gambia, Europe was divided. Europe was built by Europeans. America was built by Americans. So Gambia also would be built by Gambians, and Africa would be built by Africans. That is my
Thank you. Thank you so much for your inspiration and your leadership. And again, we will have you again, perhaps before the election. But keep up the work, and then keep up, the communication, and try to be part of that unity that you're talking about, so that we can bring change to our country. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Famara, and of course, thank you, our viewers. Yeah, take care. Sorry that we couldn't connect directly, but next time, inshallah. Have a good rest of the weekend. Take care.
Thank you.
All right.